Mr. James, would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Anthony E. James, 523028.
All right, Mr. James, we're here for a revocation decision this morning. We're going to put a form up on the screen, your parole revocation questionnaire. Just stand by. We're going to put it up there for you to look at.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature. Okay, based on the information and stated February 5th, 2024. Based on that information, sir, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed with your revocation hearing this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And then Mr. Freeman will take the lead on the interview. Your case has been assigned to him. At the very end, you'll be allowed to make a statement if you'd like to do so before we go.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. James, you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole. Condition number 2, which states you failed to report monthly as directed. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Condition number 3, you moved from the listed address of 2136 Louisiana Highway 83, Franklin, Louisiana, prohibiting home visits. You left the state without permission and absconded to Beaumont, Texas, which is evident by arrest and extradition from Beaumont, Texas. How do you plead to violating condition number 3?
Not guilty.
Okay. We have condition number 4. On July 30th, 2023, you engaged in criminal conduct by committing aggravated assault with a weapon. Subsequently, July 30th, 2023, you were arrested by the Beaumont Police Department and charged with aggravated assault with a weapon. On January 9th, 2024, you pled guilty to a reduced charge of assault causing bodily injury of a family member. You were sentenced to 180 days and given credit for time served. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
Condition number 9, you absconded probation and parole supervision on or about October 25th, 2022, when you were last seen at your listed residence at 2136 Highway 83, Franklin, Louisiana. You moved from this address without written permission or knowledge of probation and parole. How do you plead violating condition number 9?
Not guilty.
And lastly, we have condition number 10. You failed to make a single payment to this account, to your supervision fees. You have amassed an arrearage in the amount of $928. How do you plead to violating that condition?
Guilty.
All right, sir, would you answer Mr. Freeman's questions, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. James, how long have you been in jail, been held on this charge?
Since July.
Okay, you were convicted in Texas of what they had you plead to, assault, aggravated assault? What you pleaded to in Texas? Beaumont.
Sir? So can you repeat that, sir? I couldn't hear you.
Okay, what did you plead guilty to in Texas?
Oh, they gave me a misdemeanor.
Yeah, what was it though?
It's some I can't remember, but they had reduced it to a misdemeanor and gave me credit for time served.
Right. They gave you 180 days.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. James, do you have an anger problem?
No, sir.
What's the problem with you and your sister?
Nah, I had got into a fuss with somebody and they had called the laws, and in the state of Texas is word of mouth. So they had charged me with that, but they didn't have no evidence or nothing, and I didn't have no weapons or nothing, so they dropped the charge to a lesser charge.
You pled to the charge, you went to trial?
Now I pled to the charge.
Why would you plead to the charge?
Because I was trying to get it over with. And they had gave me a misdemeanor, so I was already down enough time to where they just gave me the credit for time served.
Right, but that's still, the misdemeanor can still revoke your probation.
Oh, they told me, see, the lawyer told me it wouldn't affect me.
But no, the lawyers, they got that wrong. Also, did you have a knife?
No, sir.
So you didn't threaten a jugger with a knife?
No, sir.
Okay, what was the argument about?
It was about trying to get somebody out the house, and they didn't want to leave the house. So they called the laws and made all kind of assumptions on me. And that's how they ended up charging me with that. But when the laws came, I didn't have nothing. Like, they searched me and up and down, they searched the house, they didn't find nothing. It was just a word of mouth. That's why they ended up throwing the charge out, because they had no evidence and nobody went to the hospital or stuff like that. So they had charged me with that. So that's why I had took the misdemeanor.
Okay, I see where they started a transfer on you. What happened to your transfer? Why you didn't get transferred to Texas?
My parole officer,
What about?
he didn't contact me or nothing. I had the workforce working with me, helping me out. And I had did the interstate compact, and I never heard nothing from my parole officer, but he had gave me permission to go. So they gave me a TWIC card, because in the state of Texas, you can't get a TWIC card without the parole officer proving your address. So I had got the TWIC card, but I never got word back from my parole officer. I had texted him and everything, but he never got back with me.
What about the possession of drug charge in 822?
Possession charge. I was
Charge in 822, you got a possession of cocaine, that's what you're on for.
yes, sir, that put me on probation.
Used any drugs since you've been on probation?
No, sir. I never pissed dirty from or none of that, sir. Not even alcohol.
Where you gonna stay if you were to get out today?
My mother's house.
Where's that at?
2136 LA Highway 83.
I have no further questions.
Mrs. Ledoux?
Mr. James, have you ever completed a full sentence? You're a fourth felony offender. Have you ever completed a complete sentence?
Like,
Without-
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just concerned about your compliance with what we have here. Okay, that's the only.
Mr. James, anything you want to say to us before we vote?
Basically, the reason why I had tried to move to Texas, because I was trying to get jobs in Louisiana, and it was like they couldn't hire me because I was a convicted felon and I couldn't get the TWIC card. So I asked my parole officer, can I get a pass to go to Texas to look for a job? And as soon as that happened, I automatically got a job. So I kept coming back to get passes, because I got paperwork coming back and get passes, and I tried to do it the right way by going through workforce. So workforce helped me. They told me, as long as I get the job, they'll help me get the TWIC card. So I got the job. I was driving boats, so I needed a TWIC card. So Texas told me before that happened, they have to have word with my parole officer. So I came back and got word with my parole officer. So he okayed it on the phone with the woman from Texas. So I went back to Texas and I got approved for the TWIC card and got the TWIC card, and I was doing good. And just a little minor problem happened, but I really was trying to better myself.
All right, thank you. Mr. Freeman, fair to vote?
I'll move for an executive session.
I second that.
We have a motion and second for executive session. I have no objection. So with a unanimous vote, Mr. James will be in executive session for a few moments to discuss confidential matters. Just stand by. We'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Roll call, Cheryl Ramasa,
Yes.
P. Freeman,
Yes.
Jerry Ledoux.
Yes.
All right, Mr. James, we're back in regular session. We are prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman will be voting first.
Okay, Mr. James, the domestic abuse really scares me. I know you said your lawyer said a misdemeanor would not revoke the probation, but you pled guilty, did not go to trial. My vote today would be to revoke your probation for violating conditions number 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10.
Mrs. Ledoux?
Mr. James, as an absconder, that means that you have failed to follow the directions of your parole officer. I know you made some attempts, but my vote today is also to revoke.
Mr. James, I do concur with my colleagues. I found you guilty of violating conditions 2, 3, 4, and 9. So my vote today is to revoke your supervision. So today, sir, your supervision's being revoked. Good luck to you, sir.
All right.